Welcome back, guys, to another episode of the Radiant Sports Podcast. And there's only one thing to talk about. Last night, England beat the Netherlands 2-1 to get to the European Championships final. I mean, wow, I'm still a bit hungover from last night. Celebrations going late. I mean, damn, what game, what ending. Wow, pretty much let's just get straight into it. 2-1 against Netherlands. Netherlands scored early on. Xavi Simons, decent goal. You say Pickford should save it, but Pickford wasn't going to save it with his height, obviously. Bigger goalkeeper probably saves that, but it depends, is that something bad against... Could Pickford have done better? Probably not, but another goalkeeper should have saved it. That's that. We played really well. I'll say really well. We played better, tons better than what we have been doing. His new formation seems to work. The personnel seems to work in it, apart from at left back. But I'm sure if Shaw has to start over Trippier. Played really well. Penalty in the 18th minute. For me, harsh. I wouldn't like that. See that go against us. Obviously, it was Dumfries. Foot went up. Kane took the shot and kicked the bottom of his boot. Really. What you could say he gave it because it's a high foot. I don't think it was any higher than Kane's waist. Kane already got the shot off. And then kicked through into Dumfries' studs. It's like, is Dumfries not meant to block it? Kane kicks into it. It is what it is. I don't really care. We got a penalty and Kane put it away. It was a good penalty as well. And it got to 1-1. It was going later and later. England were playing well. Kobbie Mainoo was unbelievable again. And Foden had his best game of the tournament. Just what the team has to do, give it to Mainoo, who will then give it to Foden, and they're going to do something. Just playing in and around each other, they work really well, complement each other really well there. And then Southgate made some subs 10 minutes ago. Palmer and Watkins, it was about time we made some subs. Foden and Kane went off. Kane was on the pitch probably way too long once again, but Palmer and Watkins, 90th minute, or is 89th at this point, coming up to 90. I think it's going into extra time again. Cole Palmer gets on the ball. Ollie Watkins makes a run. What difference it makes a striker who makes some runs into the box instead of cutting back and dropping deeper. Watkins runs in to Vrij, pushes him to the byline. Paul tries to, does the right thing, not letting him cut inside. But Watkins takes a small touch and gets a shot away through to Vrij's legs. And what a finish, man. Right in the bottom corner, the only place he could put it without Verbruggen saving it or hitting the post. Perfect finish. And man, Ollie Watkins, you see the elation on his face when that happened. The whole team, the whole country, man. It was really good stuff. Like such a good finish in that moment. That pressure, semi-final for England. And yeah, Ollie Watkins, man. What a finish, what a hero. England looked good. Final Sunday against Spain, who have been the best team in the tournament overall, really. They beat France 2-1. France, Kolo Muani put them ahead. The Spain were playing well, but then Spain obviously were the better team the whole game. But then, Lamine Yamal, 16, only for a couple of days, but 16. That goal, man. Just the way he took it past Rabiot, left foot, dipped, it looped up over the keeper. He couldn't save it. Top corner. Wow. What a player. What a goal. It's goal of the tournament, no matter what, really. I can't see anything beating that because that was a special goal. And then soon after, Dani Olmo has been quality for Spain this tournament. Good touches in the box and a good finish as well. That put them up, and then Spain kind of sat back a bit, especially after half time, and France just couldn't really produce anything special. Disappointing for France. Mbappe wasn't up to what he can do. Midfield was a bit defensive for me, especially in that game, starting with three sitters almost. You have Kante, Rabiot and Tchouaméni. No one really creative in that. And for me, Spain the better team, Spain the best team, and Going to be a good old game on Sunday. Spain, England, Euros final. Can we do it? God, let's hope we can. Going to be a really close game. Some key battles on that pitch. Rice and Mainu against Rodri, who can come out on top in the midfield. I think that's where it's going to be won this game. The midfield battle. Foden and Bellingham need to help as well. This team up on Rodri, and I think team up on Rodri, control the tempo of the game. Obviously, got to be careful with the wingers, Williams and Yamal. Yeah, just keep an eye on those. Obviously, is Trippier going to start? If Shaw's fit enough, he's got to start to give us extra width on the left, but then also he's got to be up against Yamal. But Gay's been quality this tournament. I'm sure he's up to the task, and the same. Walker's got the pace to cover the right-hand side as well. If Saka might get caught short up front. And yeah, can we do it? Hopefully. Let's see Sunday. Cannot wait. In other news, when I'm recording this, I was waiting for the semi-finals to be done. The English Test match summer has kicked off. England against West Indies. As recording this, day one has been and gone. West Indies were put into bat and all out for 121. But see, there's many special things happening in this Test match, and I'll get to the big one in a minute. But Atkinson on debut, 7 for, up at 90 miles an hour or just under. Good bowler. So he's been in the squad over the winter for the India series, but never got a game. But shows what he can do on his debut, and when England maybe need it most now. Obviously, this being the final test of the greatest ever fast bowler to play the game, Jimmy Anderson, England's best ever player probably, and yeah, all-round legend. Final game. Maybe he doesn't want to retire. Obviously, talk about that. How he's maybe told he needed to, as he may not have been picked. They wanted him to go on his own terms. Who knows? The leadership of Key and Stokes obviously looking for towards the Ashes down under in 2 years now. 1.5, 2 years. Can't think of when it is now. Is Anderson at 43 going to play a big part in that? They probably think no, so they want to think now's the right time for Anderson to move on and set up a bowling attack that can go down under and win. Obviously, Broad retiring last year, Anderson now. It's time for the new gen bowlers. I think it's a pretty solid batting lineup, which I think should be about the same. It will go to Australia. Crawley and Duckett, Pope, Root, Brooks, Stokes, and then if Jamie Smith can perform with the bat and with the gloves, that's your top 7, isn't it, really, to go down under if all's well. No big drop-offs in form, no players on the outside going well, but this regime doesn't seem to drop people as quick as maybe previous regimes did. They'll give them a good go, and if there's trust there, they'll continue picking them until they perform, which is a good mentality to have. Obviously, the bowling now. Anderson's last test, no Broad. In this game, the bowling attack of Anderson, Wokes and Atkinson. Obviously, Anderson's last game. Atkinson, 7 for, 1 for the future, has got the pace, got some bounce. I think he'll definitely be in that squad for down under if he's fit. But Wokes is the interesting one. Only ever performs in England realistically. Anytime out of England, his stats have just drop off significantly. He is 35. Would he go to Australia and play? Maybe, but by then he'll be 36, 37. I don't know. Maybe it's just for the English summer. For games in England, he is still one of the best bowlers. And losing Broad and Anderson, you need someone with experience to lead the line, and Wokes can do that. Also in this game at Lords, he has good experience. But yeah, obviously Jofra is not playing Test match cricket this year. Obviously they're going to be looking to get him fit for the Ashes. You got Mark Wood about. Obviously in this squad as well, you have Matty Potts did well. Was it last summer? Was it 2 summers ago or last summer? It's gone so quick. Obviously done well when he came in. It might have been at the start of the Stokes McCullum regime. Did well. Josh Tongue. Now at Notts, obviously did well in the Ashes last year. Injury, like he has most of his time in his career so far, as I know from being a Worcester fan. Josh Tong to come in. Obviously in this squad, Dylan Pennington got his first call up, formerly of Worcester as well. Now at Notts with Tong. Good bowler, good pace, good bounce. Yeah, there's that. Also going around counties, Sam Cook seems to always be getting a lot of chat about him, but will he ever get called up? You don't know. But yeah, looking towards that, having Atkinson, Archer, Wood available, that's some good pace for the pitches down under. Potentially available. Obviously, if you want some swing, there's Wokes, you got Potts, and yeah, some young players that they're looking to bleeding, and I think that's why they've told Anderson maybe now's the time. They want to bleed in the players because you don't want to be going to an Ashes down under with no experience or lack of. So give them a year or two of experience playing for England, these players, and maybe they're going for that win. But so far so good against West Indies in this Test match. Was the Silverstone Grand Prix, British Grand Prix, just weekend gone, and wow, what a race. Hamilton getting his first win in a long time. Good for him, saw his tears to the end of the victory, it meant so much to him. Great race, rain affected, which made the strategy and pit calls maybe the biggest talking points of the race, apart from Hamilton winning. So I'll go through the results first. Hamilton first, Max Verstappen got second, Lando completed the podium in third, Piastri fourth, and Sainz and Ferrari fifth. But see, Lewis won, good drive. The Mercedes looks back up there with the Red Bulls and McLaren. Obviously, Ferrari still dropped off a bit, disappointing for them, and maybe Lewis after he's obviously leaving Mercedes and going to Ferrari next year. But McLaren should have won this race, really. Norris or Piastri. For when it started raining, when everyone pitted, Mercedes, obviously George Russell was also up there as he started on a pole, but had to retire. But at the point it was I think Lando was leading, or one of the Mercedes. I think Lando led. Then it was Hamilton, Piastri, Russell. At that point, they were all at the top. Anyway, McLaren pits, one driver, Lando Norris, but they don't double stack for Oscar Piastri, whereas the Mercedes with Lewis and George double stack. I need just a couple more seconds where Piastri staying out for another lap, loses about 20 seconds on the clock. Terrible call that. Things got to change in McLaren quickly if they want to consistently win races and challenge for the title. And then really they messed up again by pitting Norris a lap later for the softs, got caught for the slicks, even got caught up by Lewis and Max, who pitted earlier. And yeah, so some bad calls by McLaren this weekend, but obviously Mercedes looking back on form, could have had another driver on podium. Obviously if Russell's car didn't have to be retired, but yeah, but still, again, Max gains points in the Drivers' Championship. He's still at the top. Off the top of my head, it's about 70-ish points now, but hopefully that gap can close, and we get a really exciting end to the season. As yeah, we're soon coming up to halfway point in the summer break. But yeah, and that's that for the F1. No race this weekend. And now, not much going on in UFC, and there was some title fights in boxing, but a few cards, not great cards this weekend. Nothing really of note. But there's one card. One fighter I want to talk about specifically. There was a fight. It was Shakur Stevenson against Haruchian for Shakur's lightweight world title. That was a headliner, but we'll get to that in a bit because that's what I want to talk about most. Controversially, a really dodgy scorecard. O'Shaki Foster lost his super feather world title to Conceição. Man, dodgy scorecards there, and dodgy dealings happening around that fight. They got to rematch it because O'Shaki Foster won, but who knows if something's dodgy going on with those scorecards, will he get the rematch? You don't know. But anyway, that was co-main event. Shakur Stevenson's won, unanimous decision on points once again in second gear. This man does not want to turn it on. It doesn't matter if he hasn't got the power. You can still turn it on and put on a show. People walking out of the event that he's headlining in his hometown, it's not good, and it's happened again. It's every time Shakur fights, there's a bit of a buzz. Like, this guy is really good, freeweight world champion, But then after he fights, there's nothing, because they think that was a really poor performance. He's not getting people out of their seats. Who wants to watch this? And he can keep doing this. He can keep fighting people that aren't on his level, not challenge himself, and just tick over. Really, that's what he's doing. He's just boxing 12 rounds, cruising and winning. But he has to fight. Obviously, that's the end of the top ranked deal. Maybe we'll see some tougher fights wherever he goes. Potentially Matchroom, there's talk of. But man, he's got to unify, or one of the boards has to mandate the number one contender, who is the number one contender in all 4 boards, who also fought this weekend, William Zepeda, man. Shakur has to unify or fight Zepeda. There's the only fights there are for him that people will actually want to see. Obviously, there's talk of Tank Loma. That's a great fight, and look what they're doing. They're unifying. Get that fight. Shakur can take a tough fight. Probably, there you go. Make Shakur Zepeda. Say he goes to Matchroom. On one of these Saudi cards, we could get Shakur Stevenson, Zepeda, obviously, or not even in Saudi. Obviously, Golden Boy are DAZN as well. If Shakur goes to Matchroom, we got 2 fighters on DAZN. That fight is easy to make. Or after Tank Loma, fight the winner of that. Just unify. What's it? Berinchuk's got the other bout. There you go. Unify those bouts. Obviously, there's talk of, I can't think of who's fighting now, but there's been talk of Berinchuk. Potentially, they're lining up Mark Chamberlain, the English lightweight, Uncle Turkey's favourite fighter for that. Obviously, he's fighting on the AJ Dubois Wembley card, which seems to be just a bit of getting him out and a walkover. It's an easy win, so maybe that's what they're setting it up for. Maybe on September, is it? Fury Usyk 2 undercard December. Mark Chamberlain, Berinchuk world title fight. See, Berinchuk's Ukrainian as well. A Brit against a Ukrainian. Have that co-main. There you go, really, isn't it? That's the fight to make. So what does Shakur do in the meantime? If that's what is going to happen, but I think that makes pretty good sense to me. Shakur Zepeda, that's the fight. Tank Loma off. If Berinchuk's maybe going to be getting, or Mark Chamberlain's going to be getting that fight, they'll keep him around for that and a Saudi payday most likely, so they're not going to take anything less than that. There's only one person he can fight, Zepeda. Shakur Zepeda starts to fight, get it done. Or even if not, if Tank and Loma can't get made, fight Tank, fight Loma, unify, just do something, man. Do something that's going to engage the fans, because you are a good fighter. You're a top, one of the best fighters, pound for pound, top 10. But you got to prove it. You got to put on a show, put on a good performance, and yeah, hopefully that will come around, but who knows? It's only up to Shakur himself. But yeah, thank you guys for watching today's Radiant Sports podcast. It's been a blast. I'm hungover from England scenes, and cannot wait for Sunday, the Euros final, England-Spain. It's going to be mega. I'm sure everyone on here will be watching it too. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Goodbye.